Now that we've created the basics of our first site, now let's delve into a few more of the additional widgets and additional functionality of the site builder. First of all, let's build a new page. First, we do that by selecting the Page tab and selecting the Create New Page button. We have two options when creating a page. We can create from a page type, either blank or a page article type, or alternatively, we can look for page ideas. So for example, our seed keyword was baby. Again, searching, we can find other keywords as we saw from our niche, and then selecting these to create additional pages. So for example, clicking the plus sign next to the keyword, as we can see, creates the page in the background. So I'm going to create two new pages, baby bibs and baby prams. Once I've finished with that, I can simply close this box down, and as we see, we have one of those pages we've just created selected, in this case baby bibs. We can, if we choose to, change the meta keywords or the description to give a fuller description of the page, which we could do. I'm not going to do for the sake of this demonstration, but that is obviously where we would do that there. We also have the option of choosing whether this is going to be the new home page. By default, it won't be the first page we created with the site, which in this case was baby clothes, is the home page, but the page is active. You may choose to set the page not active whilst you're developing it and fine-tuning it, but for the sake of this demonstration, I'm also going to keep it active. So we can just close our tab, and here we have a blank page. We still have the basic theme that we have that we've already chosen. Obviously no content on the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a video to this page. So using the video widget, we simply drag that into place, drop that on there, and then I'm going to right click and choose edit, which brings up the video attributes panel. Now if I know the YouTube ID, I can just type that straight in there. Alternatively, I can choose to find a video, and I'm going to look for baby bibs, and here we see a plethora of videos. Now the image we see here is the thumbnail we're going to see on our final site once it's live. So we want something that's going to be appealing to the user. If we don't find any videos we particularly like, we can also choose next and go through them. Now I quite like the look of this one here, we see lots of bibs, so I'm going to simply choose that and then click update, and we can close attributes panel, and that's our video created. Now it's a pretty boring page so far with just the video, so maybe what I'm going to do is drop an image on there as well. So I just simply drag the image widget, and I want a different size from there, so I can just resize the widget for the image, and then I'm going to double click, or I can right click, and I'm going to choose an image from my desktop. So just open that, and I should have some images on here. So this is an image that I uploaded, that I found earlier and saved to my desktop. Now when I do that, the one thing I get here is the notification that the image I've just uploaded is a different size to my widget. Now do I want to keep the image dimensions, or do I want the image to be rescaled to the size of my widget? Now I specifically just created that widget to the size I wanted it, so I'm going to choose the rescale to widget option. And finally, I have the option to keep an aspect ratio, and also to put an alt tag in there. So I'm going to put an alt tag of baby bib, which is useful for search engine optimization. I'm going to choose update, and I can close that, and there we see the image that I updated there. So I'm going to choose to preview my site now to see where we're up to in terms of design and style. So what I'm going to do is click on the preview option here. Now, because I haven't saved any changes I've made so far, before I preview it, it's going to ask me, do I want to save the changes, which yes, I would like to save them. So here we see the first page we've created with our Amazon carousel here with the various different baby clothes. We see our Google adverts, we see our original content with our first link that we created, and again more Amazon products at the end. But what we haven't done is we haven't added a menu, so we don't see a link to choose to see our new pages. So what I'm going to do is just jump back to our site builder, and now, as I mentioned before, for elements we want to see on every page throughout the site, we choose our theme layer. Now here's something interesting we're going to see. I choose theme, and what we saw there instantly was all the content disappeared, because all the content, the images, the videos, etc., they're all on the page layer, whereas we've just chosen the theme layer now by clicking the theme tab, so we don't see that information now. But what I want to do now is put I want to put a menu on the page that's on the theme that's going to appear on every page of the site. So first of all, I'm going to show you another little neat widget within the site builder, and that's just what we call shape. Now you may be wondering, why would we want a shape there? So let me just demonstrate how this works. What I'm going to do is create the shape there, and I'm going to double click on it to bring the attributes, and I'm going to choose a color for the shape. In this case, I'm going to have it white, and I'm going to give it a corner radius of 15. So now when I update that, now you'll see that we've got a nice shape there. It's a nice little container that we can put our menu in. So now I'm going to drag the menu to where that is, and I'm going to resize the menu so it fits nicely within our container. So I'm going to double click on my menu, and I'm going to click the select all option, and here we see that all the pages we've currently created, we have the option there of those within the menu. We can change the order of those if you want to. On the right hand side here we see as I hover over my mouse over these little arrows, they turn into a hand, so I can change the order of those if I wanted to. I'm going to leave those as it is, and we also have the option of whether we want the menu vertical or horizontal. Now I want it horizontal in this case. I'm going to quickly choose update, close that, and there we see is our menu for our baby site. And now that we've added our menu, we can simply preview that, and we see our existing homepage with the content and the Amazon widgets and the Google adverts, AdSense. And additionally now we have our menu created within our corner rounded shape, and we can simply select our new page, in this case Baby Bibs, and we see our YouTube video along with the image that we've added. Additionally, we can also choose to navigate to our other pages. For example, here we see the baby prams. We have not added any content yet, and also our Contact Us To page, which additionally we haven't added any content to yet either. Now we can jump back to our site builder and jump back to the page, and there we see the content come back again. So simply what we've done there is we've added content to the theme layer. So now we still see the content when we're on the page layer, but now we cannot edit it, we cannot right click it, we cannot choose to modify it, because that menu layer and that shape is within the theme and not within the page that we've currently selected. In addition to video, image and monetization, we also have social widgets, as we've seen already selected on our theme. We've covered the menu widget, we've looked at the shape widget, which leaves us only with the HTML. So for many different other services that we find on the web, whether it be mail, forms, other monetization options, they'll more likely than not give us some sort of embed code, whether that be JavaScript or some other type of object. Any other kind that we receive from this kind, we can just use our HTML object to drop that onto the page, double click, and here's where we would insert our HTML. So if we provided any sort of code, whether HTML, JavaScript or an object, we can use our HTML block to paste that in, which pretty much gives us functionality to do whatever else we need on our page or on our site. Now, I don't actually need the object, I was just doing that for the example, but that allows me to show you another option. For any of our widgets, we can always right click, and as we've seen so far, we can choose edit. In addition to edit, we also have clone, delete and bring to front. So let me cover those off one by one. First of all, the second option is clone. So if I choose that, what we see here now is I have two of those objects. Now just with this blank HTML, that isn't so interesting, so let me choose to clone something else, such as this image. If I decided that I'd like another of these images on the page, I can choose to right click and clone, and there we see I have two images. Now, as well as clone, we also have delete, where I can also choose to delete something that I have already created. Now, the final option that we saw was bring to front. Now, let me just highlight how that can work. So, for example, with our widgets, we can always choose to overlap. So, for example, I only maybe want to show the top part of that image and have the video mostly displaying, whereas what we can see here, the image is actually on top of the video. So I can choose to right click the video and choose bring to front, and therefore what we see is the video is in front of the image we have, in this case the little baby grow. So we can choose to bring to front our layers and choose which layer we want to be most prominent displayed on the page. And that's really useful for when we're getting quite intricate and styled with our designs, that we can choose to layer them on top of each other and get a really nice design style. So that is it for Site Builder. Obviously, with these core options and these core widgets, you get a lot of functionality and a lot of detail and really rich functional sites that you can create using these in coordination with each other. Once you've finished building your site, obviously apart from previewing it, we also have choose settings. So as well as having our kind of core keyword and our core title site, we also have our external accounts. So this is where we can choose to select our Google AdSense accounts, our Google Analytics, as well as various other monetization methods. Now, as we can see here, no accounts have been set up in our system yet, which we do that within the Manage Accounts section, which we'll cover off in a subsequent module. For now, once you've finished with your site builder, clicking the logo in the top left-hand corner will take us back to manage our sites. Now, as always, with Site Builder, when we're choosing to exit, whether that be via preview or via changing page or via exiting the whole of the Site Builder, we're always prompted to save our changes so we never lose any of our work. In this case, I'm going to choose yes, and the page will be saved before we exit back to manage our websites.